From stories across the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Nitya De Oliveira.
Good evening. I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines. The president says what is more important is not the person, but the concept that brought him or her to power. It has been reiterated that the coconut oil in the market is not harmful to the body. The Prime Minister says investigations will continue without any hindrance until the offenders of the Easter attack were found guilty. A series of health guidelines in connection with the new year. The advanced level examination results to be released before the end of the month. A fight between a wild elephant and a tusker. It has been confirmed that the president of Argentina is also infected with the coronavirus. Moving on to the stories in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that what is more important is not the person but the concept that brought him or her to power. He also points out that some groups wage protests against such concepts. The president was expressing his views while participating in the Gama Samaga Pilisandra program in the Vedivaithiyakallu village in the Vavuniya district today. Well, today's program was the 17th in the Gama Samaga Pilisandra series of programs. It was also the first Gama Samaga Pilisandra program organized in the northern province. The Vedivaithiyakallu village is located 38 kilometers away from the Vavuniya town. 478 families comprising 1,520 persons live in this village. The main source of the livelihood of the villagers is chena cultivation. The Gama Samaga Pilisandra program has been organized to provide sustainable solutions to the problems faced by the residents for a long period. The president was warmly welcomed upon arrival at the Bogaswava Mahavidyalaya premises in the Vedivaithiyakallu Grama Seva division. The president, addressing the gathering, said that certain organized groups are engaged in attempts to popularize false information regarding the environment. The president said that certain people in the island have no understanding on the problems of the poor people. He added that such people have not arrived in the remote regions of the country. The president also said that in some instances, even forest conservation officials do not have a proper understanding on the issue of forest conservation and the people. The president has reminded that forest, wildlife, agricultural and environmental officials have been appointed to look into the welfare of the people. He has also recalled that there was no other official than himself who had rendered services for the well-being of the environment. When people of his status assumed power, certain media tried to attack them, even fabricating incidents of wrongful nature. The president added that he has taken necessary measures to counter harmful environmental impact due to the palm oil cultivation and also regarding the current dispute pertaining to coconut oil. Measures have also been taken to prevent the importation of harmful coconut oil into the country. He also said that he has taken necessary legal measures against narcotics. The president added that certain groups are criticizing the changes he had made in the officials of certain institutions done in the interest of the institutions themselves. He has stressed that in every instance, the name Gotabaya Rajapaksa is not relevant. He further said that what is more important is the force that put him into power. It is vital to safeguard that power at all times. The president has also said that he promised to Venerable Professor Induragare Dhammaratana Thero, one member in each family of young bhikkhus living in remote areas will be given employment opportunities. The villagers were able to directly present their problems to the president. 92% of the population in the Vavuniya district are affected by the drinking water shortage. The president has instructed officials to provide a solution to the problem within an year. He has also taken measures to allocate a sum of 60 billion rupees in this connection. Instructions have been given to reconstruct all tube wells in the area as a speedy solution to the drinking water issue. Advice has also been given for the implementation of many community water projects. The president has also taken measures to provide permanent solutions to many problems in schools in the area. He has also reiterated the need to develop the Viharasthane in the village in a manner of safeguarding the archaeological heritage of the site. It has been planned to reconstruct 37 kilometers of byroads in Bogaswava and adjacent villages and 2 main bridges in the area. The President has also ordered to immediately reconstruct 16 reservoirs in the village and altogether 17 tanks, including the Kiuloya project. Another issue that has come under attention was the shortage of medical, nurses and other staff in the hospital area. The President has instructed the relevant divisions to speedily fill the vacancies. The President has handed over to the principals of the schools 2 laptop computers donated to the Bogaswava Mahavidyalaya and Nedunkerni Mahavidyalaya by SLT Mobitel Institute, and the television set and connections provided by Dialogue. A set of books have been donated to libraries in several schools in the area under the theme of creation of a generation of children nurtured with intellect and virtues. Symbolical presentation of title deeds to 5 families in the Vavuniya North Divisional Secretariat Division who have been acquiring government lands have also taken place. The President has also handed over 3 scholarships for courses conducted by the Sri Lanka Vocational Training Authority. Parliamentarians Khadar Mastan, Kulasingham Thileepan, Northern Province Governor P.S.M. Charles, regional people's representatives and government officials were also present on this occasion.
Now, the Presidential Secretariat has distributed books for 7 schools in the remote village of Kabithi Golava recently. This was made possible due to a pledge given by the President at the Nochiagama program of the Gama Samagapili Sandara program. 7 sets of books valued at 150,000 rupees were distributed. Some of the schools that received the books were the Kabithi Golava Central College, Paluga College and Hemamali College. Ministers S.M. Chandrasena, State Minister Shehan Singha, Parliamentarian M.K. Nandasena, regional politicians and officials attended the event conducted under the leadership of President's Private Secretary Sugisha Bandara. The Consumer Affairs Authority reiterates that the coconut oil price in the market at present does not pose a harmful impact on the health of consumers. Addressing a media briefing in Colombo today, State Minister Lasant Aligewan said that this fact has been substantiated through tests conducted on 55 samples. State Minister Lasant Aligewan said that the Consumer Affairs Authority has obtained 5 samples from each district. Accordingly, 125 samples have been handed over to the Coconut Development Authority. All these samples are currently being tested in laboratories. He added that the Consumer Affairs Authority has been informed on results of 55 such tests day before yesterday. The State Minister also said that the results confirmed to the Gazette notification of the Ministry of Health that these coconut oils are suitable for human consumption.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the patience of the Christian devotees is most exemplary until the granting of justice to the victims of the Easter Sunday attack. He reiterates that the investigations process to prove the guilt of the offenders responsible for the attack will be carried out without any influences as anticipated by the Christian community. The Prime Minister has made these remarks in a communique released in connection with the 2nd anniversary of the Easter Sunday attack. The Sri Lankan Christians, along with the worldwide Christian devotees, will celebrate Easter Sunday tomorrow. Easter Sunday is a day of liberation. Sri Lanka brethren, along with their worldwide counterparts, venerate with devotion on this day over the defeat of death and the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. The flame of the Easter Sunday candle allows people to feel the relief. The word Easter, in a sense, exemplifies the expectations of the Christian population for the liberation of mankind. Prime Minister, in his media release, also says that the Sri Lanka as a country blatantly condemns the brutal Easter massacre today, just as it condemned the incident 2 years ago. He has also expressed condolences to the members of the families who had lost their relatives in the attack and also to the entire Christian community. The Prime Minister has also recalled that as a responsible government, it has so far fulfilled all its obligations continuously to bring before the law all those who are responsible for the Easter Sunday terror attack. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa also wished Happy Easter Sunday to all Sri Lankan Christian devotees.
Now, the Ministry of Defence has taken measures to strengthen security in the country during the Holy Week of the Christian devotees, including Easter Sunday. The ministry has given instructions to the three armed forces to deploy all security arrangements through coordination of the Sri Lanka Police. The Ministry of Defence has issued several special instructions to the Chief of Defence Staff and commanders of the three armed forces in this regard. It has been reiterated to remain extremely vigilant during this period. The Defence Ministry has requested the Vigilant Committee appointed by the churches and the devotees to be on alert, especially regarding activities relating to extremism and violence. Information on any such events should be immediately conveyed to authorities in charge of law enforcement. The ministry further reiterates that health guidelines should be strictly adhered to at services being conducted in churches and other related activities on Holy Easter Sunday as well.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has commenced a program today to hand over Alut Aurudu Nakat Seatua to all houses today. A handout on detailed information of the development work carried out by the government within an year is also being provided to each house along with this Nakat Seatua. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has presided over handing over of the Alut Aurudu Nakat Seatua to the people in the Vavuniya district. The event has taken place on the sidelines of the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program at Bogaswa Mahavidyalaya premises. Ministers Professor G.L. Peris and Prasanna Ranatunga have presided over the presentation of the Nakat Seatua in the Minuanguru town in the Gampaha district. Also, parliamentarian Tissa Kuttiarachi participated in the distribution of the Nakat Seatua in the Haputale electorate, while the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Attorney at Law parliamentarian Sagar Karyavasam, presided over the ceremony in Battarumulu to hand over the Nakat Seatua to the people in the Colombo district, and also parliamentarian Jayantha Katagoda also took part in this event. And also the handing over of the Nakat Seatua in the Piliyandala town took place under the leadership of Minister Gamini Lokuge, and also State Minister D.B. Herath participated in the Nakat Seatua presentation in the Warripola electorate. Another Nakat Seatua distribution program was conducted in Menneria Polonnaruwa. A large number of people's representatives have attended the event under the leadership of parliamentarian Amarakirti Atukora. And also State Minister Piyala Nishantha presided over the Nakat Seatua distribution program in Beruwala. And also Nakat Seatuas were distributed among the people in Anuradhapura district in the Makulava village in Galnava. Minister S.M. Chandrasena presided over the event. Noreira District Coordination Committee Chairman S.B. Disanayaka, meanwhile, has presided over the Nakat Seatua distribution program in Hagurankethu electorate, and also Minister Janaka Bandara Tennakon presiding over the Nakat Seatua distribution in Yapagama in Badulla. In Dambulla rather, and also Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi presiding over the Nakat Seatua distribution presentation in Ahaliyagoda electorate.
Now, a series of guidelines has been issued by the Ministry of Health regarding how the people should celebrate the upcoming New Year. Accordingly, the people have been advised to confine the observance of the New Year rituals to their homes. It has also been instructed to perform rituals during the Punya Kala in line with the accepted health guidelines. People have been advised to minimize performance of New Year rituals such as visiting relatives, engaging in out-of-the games as much as possible. The New Year ceremony organizers are required to follow relevant instructions. Accordingly, only less than 100 people are permitted to stay at a single location in a ceremony within premises. The COVID-19 preventive measures should be followed in all instances, including competitions. COVID-19 afflicted persons as well as those undergoing quarantine are not permitted to attend any events. The distance between individuals should be maintained at all times. With regard to shopping in the new year, the relevant business institutions have been urged to enlighten the consumers on protective health measures through audiovisual techniques. The assembly of people should be minimized as much as possible. The conducting of out of the pollers should also be according to strict health guidelines. No permission will be granted for conducting large-scale New Year carnivals and music concerts. Meanwhile, State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana said that another stock of 1 million doses of AstraZeneca is scheduled to be imported from India in the next few weeks. State Minister also expressed opinions regarding provision of the Sinopharm vaccine to the people. The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has reached 90,021, a percentage of 96.56. Another 2,626 patients are undergoing treatment. Another 98 COVID-19 patients were detected in the island today, all close associates of the Palayaguda COVID cluster.
Now, moving a little away from the local stories, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Friday said fully vaccinated people can safely travel at what they say low risk, but urged Americans not to, with the COVID-19 cases once again on the rise.
Fully vaccinated grandparents can fly to visit their healthy grandkids without getting a COVID-19 test.
New travel guidelines were issued by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Friday. The relaxed recommendations from the CDC, fully vaccinated people can travel domestically with, quote, low risk to themselves, but must continue to wear a face covering and practice social distancing on planes, trains, buses, and public transport. In addition, there's no need to be tested before or after domestic travel, and there's no longer a need to quarantine after a trip. But while the CDC says it is medically safe for fully vaccinated Americans to travel starting 2 weeks after their final dose, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky explains the recommendation comes with a major caveat.
And while we believe that fully vaccinated people can travel at low risk to themselves, CDC is not recommending travel at this time due to the rising number of cases. We are at 64,000 new COVID cases today, and our numbers continue to increase. We had an increase of 8% today. I still continue to worry that with 80% of the population unvaccinated, that we have a lot of work to do to control this pandemic.
The airline industry praised the change as a good first step. Air travel is down 43% since the health crisis pretty much grounded flying to a halt. But Americans appear to be warming up to getting back on a plane again. Daily TSA screenings are at their highest since the health crisis began. Friday's CDC guidance is different for overseas travelers. There are still restrictions that bar most non-U.S. citizens from the United States who have recently been in China, Brazil, South Africa, and most of Europe. And the CDC is also keeping requirements that nearly all international travelers get a negative COVID-19 test before boarding a flight to the United States. It recommends getting tested again a few days after returning to U.S. soil. But there is one change. Those fully vaccinated no longer need to go into self-exile.
Now, in the meantime, Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Peri, says that results of the GC advanced level examinations will be issued before the end of this month. He points out that therefore the students will be able to enter universities without any delay. Minister of Education Professor G.L. Peri said that maximum efforts will be made to release the advanced level examination results before the end of the month. Accordingly, the selected students will be able to enter universities in September this year. The minister also said that they hope to conduct the GC ordinary level examinations in June. Accordingly, it would become possible to commence advanced level classes in July.
Now, the Ministry of Justice says certain groups are trying to create a wrong concept in the society regarding calling of applications to fill vacancies in the posts of inquirers into sudden death. The ministry issuing a communique says that the filling of vacancies is being carried out according to normal procedure. The ministry further reiterates that there are no preparations to create a post on new Muslim inquiries into sudden deaths. The present Minister of Justice has not taken any policy decision or issued any other order regarding an appointment of inquirers into sudden deaths.
Now, Minister Kehelia Rambukwala says that the activities of the Office of the Missing Persons should be restricted to the previous war period. He was expressing opinions to media in Kandy today. Minister Kehelia Rambukwala said that they have taken decisions to pay compensation if such an order is given by the committee. The charges have been filed according to incidents that took place during the previous administration. Abductions are a continuous process of society. We are uncertain of tomorrow's situation. Therefore, decisions could be taken with regard to the future.
And now we have a question for you. Now, have you ever heard of a fight between a wild elephant and a tusker? Well, such a battle has been reported from Galen Bindunuwava. Now, the villagers say that the confrontation between the tusker named Agbo and the wild elephant has been taking place for several days on the tank bund of the Morogoda Mannankattiya tank in Galen Bindunuwava. The villagers further say that the most likely reason for the clash could have been over a female companion. It has also been reported that the grievously injured wild elephant is currently loitering in the banks of Mannankattiya Lake. Well, that looks like a very tough battle. And moving on to the weather situation. The Department of Meteorology predicts that the prevailing hot weather condition in different parts of the island would continue in the coming days as well. It also points out that such a warm condition is possible within an inter-monsoon climatic atmosphere. Well, the northern, north central, eastern and also the Uva provinces in the island have been severely affected by the hot weather condition. However, such warm weather patterns prevail in other provinces as well. The factors that have contributed to the rise in the temperature include the positioning of the sun directly ahead of Sri Lanka, addition of accumulation of water vapor and a decline in wind speed. The sun will remain directly over Sri Lanka from the 5th to the 14th of April. The weather report further says that the sun will remain directly above the areas of Telvatta, Baddegama, Dadiyavala, Mulatiana and also Angudukol Palace and Udamalala areas on Monday. Many defects such as dehydration may occur due to hot weather condition. Drinking of adequate quantities of water and resting under shade and not engaging in exhausting activities are some of the remedies to get over this problem. The Department of Meteorology further says that it is more appropriate to dress in white or light colored garments.
Let's take a look at more local news items in brief now. 20 persons were reported to have been injured in a road accident in Milania Bandaragam on the Southern Highway last night. Our correspondent says the accident occurred when a bus clashed with the back of a lorry. Highway Traffic Police report around 40 passengers present in the bus at the time of the accident. Police took steps to provide first aid medical treatment to those who sustained minor injuries at the location. A suspect with 17 kilos of gold valued at 220 million rupees was nabbed at the premises of the Kattunayake Airport this morning by customs officials. They arrested the suspect in a search operation carried outside the airport premises when the suspect attempted to flee. Customs report the suspect to be a work supervisor in an institute engaged in cleaning. The biggest wedding exhibition of the year, Vivaha 2021, got underway at the Bandaranaike Conference Hall premises today under the patronage of Madam Shiranti Rajapaksa. Facilities are available at the exhibition for marriage partners to fulfill their requirements. The exhibition will be conducted tomorrow as well. Film director, producer, script writer and former provincial council attorney at law Saman Veeraman has passed away yesterday. He remained indisposed for some time and was 70 years old at the time of demise. Mr. Saman Veeraman also functioned as the general manager of the National Film Corporation and the chairman of the State Cinema Advisory Committee. He directed several movies including Sri Siddhartha Gautama. Mr. Saman Veeraman also remained in active politics for a certain period as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party organizer of the Valigama electorate. The remains lie at a private funeral parlour in Boralla for the general public to pay their last respects.
And now moving into Little England. Sundara Norelia Salalili Vasante program will be conducted till the 30th of this month. It has been organized by the Norelia Municipal Council. National Television is the media sponsor of this year's event as well. So several programs of the Salalili Vasante were conducted today as well. They included motorcar and motorcycle races. The Mahagastota motorcycle race was also held today. In addition, an exhibition of all classical motor vehicles was also conducted. The Ceylon Motor Sports and SLT Mobitel are the sponsors. And with that, it's time to box out of the studios. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.
Good night.